I don't want my brother-in-law's toxic girlfriend in our home.
Then
Kick her out.
I, 30 female, and my husband, 29 male, have been together 10 years. Whoa! Married 5 of those. The last 3 years, we've been making our own traditions as my in-laws dynamic is incredibly toxic, and this is our first home, and we like to incorporate a little bit of ourselves into our new traditions. I'm excited to hear them. So we now cook for my entire family and ourselves and deliver it throughout the day on Christmas. That's cute.
that is nice.
By the way, this comes from Neither Evening 2644. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So a couple of weeks ago, my brother-in-law, 19 male, graduated trade school and moved back in with us. He asked if it was okay if his girlfriend, 20 female, came over for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We said, not a problem.
Forget about it.
Well, last night, it became a problem.
Dang it. We were so close.
Brother-in-law's girlfriend is a... I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it. Is a vegetarian.
No.
Pumpkin.
I put this in quotations as all I've ever seen her eat is mac and cheese and pizza.
Those aren't vegetarian.
Cheese pizza.
Those are vegetarian. Wait. Those are both vegetarian.
We decided we're making loaded mashed jalapeno poppers, stuffed mushrooms, deviled eggs, sweet potato casserole, candied yams, and ham.
Okay.
We have in the past tried accommodating brother-in-law's girlfriend's diet, and it was a complete waste of time, as she refused to eat anything we made, all vegetarian-based. So we learned a few months ago we are not catering to her difficult nature. It's not about diet. She's just a pain in the butt.
Wait,
Dang.
all of those things, for the most part, seem like vegetarian. Like,
Yeah, sweet potato casserole.
No. I think that they're saying that they did make... The first comment made no sense.
In the past.
They're saying she only eats mac and cheese and pizza, but so they tried to accommodate with vegetarian stuff. But the first comment makes no sense because those are vegetarian. The second comment, they're just saying she doesn't eat it because
I'm sorry.
she's a pain in the butt.
Is she just a picky eater?
It sounds like
She
she's
might
just a
be
picky eater.
Because
She's
if
a vegetarian,
you're
but a
those
picky
two
eater.
things, that doesn't make you seem like a vegetarian.
But also, so the
Well,
things that,
she
the
could be
things
a
that
picky
they're
vegetarian.
making, the loaded mash, jalapeno popper, is loaded mash, is that with like bacon and stuff?
I don't know. That's a
Sometimes,
good
but-
question.
But a lot of this, like candied yams, I mean, ham is not
the only thing
vegetarian,
that popped
but
out to me was ham, and
Yeah.
maybe
A
sometimes
a lot of the
eggs.
other stuff
Well,
seemed potentially
I think
vegetarian.
they're saying that she literally only eats mac and cheese and pizza.
Oh yeah, maybe she's like a plain Jane kind of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also
kinda
like a lot of people
eater.
have like they're like who are neurodivergent have like safe foods.
Yeah.
So it could be
I had an
that.
ex that only ate white foods.
What do you mean?
Jicama.
What do you mean, like white foods?
It's
Like,
not a white food.
Yeah.
You're
what do you
just
mean by
calling
white
out.
foods?
Hey,
Like,
come
White food. She would only
Turnips.
She would only eat like she would
Marshmallows.
eat like only like bread and like
Eggs.
pasta.
Those aren't white.
cheese?
Well, whitish.
Cheese is white?
Or off white and like cheese.
But she wasn't like vegetarian or
Cheese is-
vegan.
She
or
wasn't
Yeah.
anything.
vegetarian. She was just
Sometimes.
she got over it. I think when she was like 16 or something.
Oh.
What?
For a long period. Yeah, in her adult, but she was still
Yeah.
a picky eater.
Jellybus says, "Yep, my youngest and her texture
Guys, I have to ask.
issues."
Texture issues. Well, last night it came up that we aren't making mac and cheese. Oh no. We made the viral tiny mac and cheese for Thanksgiving. We decided to remake the dishes from Thanksgiving that got the most love and compliments, the one that people most enjoyed. Most of our dishes have lots of cheese in them as well as carbs. We didn't want to add the mac and cheese.
I will say though, I understand that it's frustrating that you're literally doing all of this work and then she's maybe complaining about it or something. But I feel like if you know that she only eats mac and cheese,
And you're going to take out the one thing that you can eat.
yeah, it feels like if you know she's gonna cause trouble, I would just make the mac and cheese.
I would just get
You could
get one
even,
of those
like,
instant
You
mac
know,
and
yeah,
cheeses.
I would just buy
you know?
I would buy like
And you're just
mac
like,
and cheese
"Here
from
you
the
go."
store.
Just toss it to her.
Just so she
Stuffed
doesn't make
mushrooms?
a
Dude, that
whole
sounds
thing.
delicious.
Well, this girl lost her crap last night. She raised her voice and kept yelling, "What am I supposed to eat? There's no mac and cheese." She was insistent and berating my brother-in-law until my husband stepped in and reminded her, they're adults and could go to the store in the morning to make their own. She didn't like this and continued complaining, so I jumped in and said that there is boxed mac and cheese they can make themselves. I want to add that his girlfriend is high-functioning autistic. I'm not sure if this behavior is partially due to that or if she's just a spoiled, rotten brat who's never heard of no in her entire life, but I do not want this behavior in my household ever again. How the heck can I better navigate this situation while she's still here for the next 2 days? I'm so close to finding a dog-friendly hotel and just going there with my dog and husband until brother-in-law takes his girlfriend back home. So am I the a-hole for telling him when he takes her home that this will be the last time she's welcome here, or do I keep quiet until he asks if she can spend the night here in the future, to which we can kindly decline? We have an update, but I want to know.
Yeah.
Is OP the a-hole?
I think that you could go to your it's the brother, right? Or the brother, so it's her husband's brother, right?
Yeah.
I think you could go to your brother and say, "Hey,
yo,
I don't really appreciate that, response from her. There's a better way of going about it.
You're an adult."
Yeah. Amy Lynn says, yes, you're the a-hole only because she has ASD, most likely with ARFID. I think there is, OP's asking, is this related to, autism? Probably.
It could be.
Probably.
But I think just because you have a diagnosis for something doesn't mean it excuses behavior that is negative towards other people.
And
I think
also,
it allows you to understand it. For sure, and potentially navigate it better. But I don't think you can't just say, oh, she has autism, so she's allowed
she can
to have
do whatever
a
she wants.
I
I think it's a little we're getting some OP is an a-hole. I think it's a little bit, I don't want to say everyone sucks here, but I think it's totally not cool that the brother-in-law's girlfriend is just screaming at OP for not making mac and cheese. I think that if they knew beforehand that she could only eat mac and cheese, then bring it, or
feels
ask.
like it was out of spite they didn't have the mac and cheese.
That's the thing why I'm
I feel is a little a-hole-y.
That's why I think she's a little bit the a-hole.
That there's someone coming
who only eats mac and cheese.
Only eats mac and cheese and is already particular, and it isn't that hard to not have mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese is so easy. You just buy it.
I think you can just buy it and have it.
Yeah.
And so it did feel like it was. It's
felt like
OP,
someone's gonna scream at you, and then you set them off.
Yeah, and that's what it felt like a little bit OP did. However, though OP that there's a little a-hole-y behavior there, I think the much bigger a-hole-y behavior is
screaming at someone for not providing.
At someone for not making what you like, right?
Yeah, I think that's why it's a little bit of everyone sucks here. It's OP sucks for the intentions behind not making or providing mac and cheese because she did it on purpose, and then obviously OP's brother-in-law's girlfriend.
Yeah,
Did they advise that they wouldn't accommodate to her anymore, and then hey, bring your own food?
It doesn't seem like they said
No,
anything.
I don't think they did that. I don't think they did.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know. I think they did have some. I don't think they accommodated her specifically, but I think they did have
vegetarian
foods options that she could eat.
However,
but she says vegetarian. I think it's more along the lines of I forgot what someone said, but the high functioning autistic texture issues.
Yeah,
it's more that, but also maybe that wasn't communicated to OP either. So it feels like there's a little bit of lack of communication on both ends. I don't think it excuses a tantrum, but I do feel like we can understand a little bit,
especially if you knew they were coming and you could even be hey, we're making this is what's on the menu.
Yeah,
prepare for that.
Commander Waddle says horrendous take. She lives with them. They're tired of making mac and cheese every day. Does she live with them?
No, they've just been.
She doesn't.
They're staying for Christmas.
This is for the Christmas, by the way. This is
Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Yeah, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. She's staying with them.
So what would you say? I mean, you have the relationship with the brother-in-law. I feel like if I was OP, I would say hey, can you talk? I would tell my husband to talk to his
maybe
brother.
That's better,
right?
Because the connection there.
And then I would be hey, do you think that kind of behavior is okay?
Yeah.
Also, are you okay? Is that the kind of behavior you're dealing with in this relationship? I don't know if that's healthy. And depending on what the brother says, it's hey, she, maybe it's hey, she's high functioning autistic.
Yeah. Maybe it's not as high functioning as OP thinks.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but when you have autism,
trying to work with it, but she needs extra help.
Yeah.
He could come and if he's coming at it from that end where it's she's high functioning autistic, she knows this, she's trying to work on these things, but there's these things that just set her off. And I'm so sorry. And if she comes in, and also apologizes,
Yes.
maybe we can
I
like,
don't think it's a jump to kicking her out forever. I think it could totally be a, hey, can we sit down, figure out what your food, dietary restrictions are? If we can accommodate, maybe if we can't, we let you know in advance so that you come with your own food.
Yeah.
And it's just having that adult conversation without anyone yelling, without jumping to like, get out of my house.
Yeah.
I think there is a
There's a lot of like tension right now that I think is having people jump to at their throats right now.
And also Kim Roberts says, Sophia, how's cheese vegetarian? I'm honestly curious. So vegetarian just means that you don't eat meat. Vegan is when you don't have any dairy products like cheese.
There's a lot of different ones too. There's like lacto, like they avoid dairy.
Yeah, but it seems like OP's brother-in-law's girlfriend is just vegetarian.
Ovarian or something. I don't remember.
So vegetarian just means that you don't eat meat.
So I think, OP, are you the a-hole? Maybe a little slightly, especially if the mac and cheese thing was done intentionally, which it feels like, I don't know, like there may have been some intention there.
Yeah.
What should you do from this point? Have a conversation
Absolutely.
with your husband, to have a conversation with his brother. See if you can learn more through that communication. And
also learn
if
more
there's
about
no like movement on their side of like any sort of apology, any sort of movement, then you might say, hey, like until we like, until you can, I don't know, be a little bit more civil in our house, like I don't know if it's a good idea to come back.
Can you also scroll up to OK Billy times? Thank you. I'm high functioning and I avoid things that could trigger a meltdown because they absolutely suck and are scary and take hours to recover from. Yeah, I also think someone else made a point about high functioning meaning a lot of different things. It usually, I think, means that they don't have to live with another person to take care of them. So that doesn't mean that they're not experiencing like sensory overloads or, meltdowns like in this situation. It just means that they're able to live without a full-time carer.
Yeah, but let's see if maybe some communication happens, because I think a lot of good can happen if both sides understand each other a little bit more.
Yes, come from a place of understanding and curiosity.
So let us get on to the updates. My husband took brother-in-law outside Wednesday night alone and had a good conversation.
Yay!
This is exactly what we wanted. Husband was actually a bit upset at how well brother-in-law took the fact they were being told to leave Thursday. He let brother-in-law know that him blowing off my text saying one thing to his girlfriend, expecting something out of us without communicating it, could have saved him a big unnecessary problem, and that due to his lack of communication and our plans, they needed to leave. So they left Thursday afternoon. I stopped acknowledging the girlfriend after Thursday morning when I said good morning to the two of them. I'll be honest, I had a lapse in better judgment. And after being blown off as she is looking me directly in my eyes. So basically OP said good morning and they like looked at her but said nothing back. She raised her voice and said,
Okay, I'll just F myself then.
It would be like, hey, Sophia, good morning.
All right, I'll just go F myself.
We intend on sitting down and having a serious conversation with brother-in-law when he gets home tomorrow. If anyone has any suggestions or things that stick out to them that they'd not allow to go unaddressed, please let me know. We'll be taking him off of our Easy Pass. He has a month to get his own phone plan and he will be paying rent weekly. And then maybe as some time goes on, he can be trusted. We will be change that to monthly. He struggled with monthly rent while away at school for whatever reason that may be. And boundaries regarding his girlfriend, although now that he will be responsible for the tolls, $40 to $50 each way. If he visits, I don't believe he will be bringing her back, as he will only be allowed 2 nights max per visit, and as of now, only on weekends. Pre-approved and no last second changing a 2-day stay to a 5-day stay, as that isn't tolerated. And they will be asked to leave like they were this time. The immediate switch for brother-in-law and respect towards me was immediately evident. Ran to get the trash cans out because of the holidays. They got messed up and he had forgotten. He's only been back 3 weeks. It's understandable. Trash goes out once a week. A change since he last lived with us when it was twice a week. And then came inside to ask if he should bring recycling out as well, like jumping to help out after having consequences to his actions. So it sounds like he's like trying to help out more because of what has happened.
Yeah.
Also, they seem to be pretty strict on him. On the brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Too strict, maybe.
Yeah. I was also going to say that
he's an adult.
Yes. It feels like they're like his parents. But I was also going to say, I was thinking about that moment of the girlfriend, OP saying good morning and the girlfriend saying nothing, and then her being like, okay, I'll just F myself. I was thinking about a lot of times there are moments, especially in like neurodivergency, like when people are neurodivergent, where you like don't want to talk to people, you know, and you just like you have like silent time. And I feel like that, like, I don't know, maybe she was just being like rude and ignoring OP, but that was also like a possibility. And I feel like to jump to,
Okay, I'll just F myself.
I mean, I think what that does,
Yeah.
just I feel like, and OP even admit this, I wasn't in my best self, but
Yeah.
it is like escalating things unnecessarily.
like, I think even if she was trying to ignore me, I would be like,
And
I would
also,
just be
I
like,
don't
okay.
know. I mean, I'm confused
Yeah.
as to why it's so restrictive. Like this, like 2 date. I mean, like I understand not wanting the girlfriend over.
I didn't realize they had so much kind of control over the brother-in-law, like the
Yeah.
phone stuff.
The phone stuff is. I mean, I guess maybe
How
it's
old
like
is do we know how old the brother is?
Dingus Bot. How
Dingus
old is the
Bot.
brother-in-law? OP's 30 female, husband is 29 male, and brother-in-law is 19.
Wow. Okay. So that does add a lot of information, I think. These
Yeah.
are 19-year-olds.
19, and I think his girlfriend is 20.
Okay. Yeah. I think OP is I think this is a lot of intense reactions coming from OP.
Yeah, again, like I'm like, these are kids.
Yeah.
These are kids.
These are kids.
These are kids. I feel like you're acting a little bit like a kid.
I
But
don't know.
also-
I really just feel like his girlfriend, not even the brother, the girlfriend had a moment where she like started yelling at OP and OP was like, that's not acceptable, kicked him out, and is now putting all of these restrictions on the brother who's
which
19.
Yeah. You know what? Probably
Yeah.
she's just like, I want this guy out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want him staying here, and
Yeah.
I'm mad at this situation, so I'm going to like
Make it terrible for him.
terrible for him.
Yeah.
But it was a little relief that, he recognized the consequences, reactions, and started to help out, because it reaffirmed he is willing, and it is just that structure and boundaries he is so lacking and needing. I will try my best to update how our conversation goes. We got another update. So last night, brother-in-law brought to our attention that his girlfriend is very upset. She doesn't feel we communicate with her or try to get to know her. My husband and I quickly responded that respect and communication work both ways. From the moment I introduced myself to her, his girlfriend has blown me off and hasn't acknowledged me once. I even went so far as to run to a metaphysical shop when I saw her interest in crystals. I brought all of my crystals, tarot cards, and astrology books down to show her I was paying attention and listening to her interests. It seems no matter what we do in the situation, we are in the wrong. So halfway through her stay last week, I opted to ignore her. From good morning to no thank you for her gifts or hospitality, no goodbye, constant demands for booze or mac and cheese. We don't know the girl enough to not like her, but I do not like her behavior. It's childish, obnoxious, and demanding. We pointed out how every single time she's come to visit, she has blown both myself and my husband off. I don't understand what it is the brother-in-law is asking of us. We are not his parents. It is our responsibility to play 20 questions to get to know her, because I'm being completely honest, I personally don't care. I have enough of my own personal things going on than to be worrying myself with how to carefully try and communicate with my brother-in-law's girlfriend. I don't have an issue communicating. She does. In order for a conversation to take place, two parties gotta partake in the conversation. I'm happy brother-in-law brought up the conversation regarding respect, because I called out his very disrespectful behavior as well as his girlfriend's. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because here he is demanding we respect his girlfriend, yet hasn't shown an ounce from the moment he moved back in about a month ago. My husband and I are giving ourselves the day to reflect on the discussion we all had last night, and we'll revisit sometime this week/weekend. I've already gotten my list of house guidelines/expectations ready going forward. This includes him being responsible for any guests he brings in the house. I also called out the entire mac and cheese ordeal and how inappropriate it is to behave that way. This is not how adults communicate. Unfortunately, I see his girlfriend being the beginning of his downfall. He begins his dream job next week, and I fear he isn't going to last long due to the demands of his helpless girlfriend. I'm a bit peeved this morning, so this update may be a bit judgmental and snippy.
Yeah.
But I'm yet again at a loss for words. The audacity, I guess. And there is a third update.
I really am having trouble here, because I feel like it is a little bit of an unreliable narrator moment. And if we are to take OP at face value, she's saying that this girlfriend is being rude and snippy and blah, blah, blah. And I can't tell, like, that totally could be true. But also I'm like,
What has the brother-in-law done?
I don't know. That's what yeah.
I don't know what I mean, maybe.
He was like, hey, my girlfriend feels like you guys don't really want to get to know her. And she was like, how dare he ask us?
How dare he do that?
Yeah.
I think maybe she's referring to both of them being silent in the morning and not saying good morning to her.
Which is,
but I don't know. I
don't know. I feel like this is a little bit of an everyone sucks here kind of situation. It feels like the girlfriend was rude.
Yeah.
Whether that be because she is autistic or not, it was like there was a rude moment. It feels like OP doesn't really have an understanding of this girlfriend's neurodivergency at all and is taking everything very much to heart. But also it feels like OP is behaving kind of petulantly. Like the whole so I ignored her.
Yeah.
Like you're 30 and she's 19.
Yeah, it feels like you are. I feel like what you're doing is you're reflecting the same behavior that you're interpreting these kids are doing. And like, yes, like understandable that you're maybe a little mad, but you don't act like a 19-year-old back to a 19-year-old. You will lose at that game. Yeah. They're better at
acting like a 19-year-old.
They're better. They'll
better. Do it.
They'll do it forever. They'll do it for much longer. They'll drag you into the dirt. You don't have that energy. You're old.
And not to compare a 14-year-old to a 19-year-old, because obviously a 19-year-old is an adult. But like if a 14-year-old, yells at you because they want to play Fortnite or whatever, you don't start yelling at them and saying, "Oh, well, I want to play Fortnite." You don't,
Even if you want to play Fortnite.
Yeah, even if you really want to play Fortnite.
Fortnite.
But we got an update.
Yeah.
Someone said you're bullying a neurodivergent kid. Where is it?
Not us.
No.
OP is.
The lawyer princess says it feels a bit ableist.
Yeah.
Lady Morgan says I clam up when I meet new people too. And Susan S says I agree with Sophia. Oh, Sam the Caterpillar says these are full-grown adults bullying an autistic freshly adult. Adult autistic.
I think
person.
that OP totally could have been in the right if she had approached the situation with a little bit more maturity and had said, "Hey, brother-in-law, your girlfriend was pretty rude to us. We would love to help accommodate her, but we need a little bit of mutual respect here, especially if you're going to stay in our house, if we're going to provide food for you." And just give out those kind of requests rather than being like, "You guys are terrible. Get out of my house."
Yeah. I agree. But you know what else I agree with? The fact that we have a third update and I'm going to freaking read it. So, hey all. It's been over a month since my last post, and I figured I'd share the latest update for those who are interested in the outcome of the situation. The beginning of January, my 30 female brother-in-law, 20 male, started his dream career. A month to the date after graduating, we are incredibly proud. The only problem, the job is an hour-and-a-half commute one way on a good traffic day. It's a lot of commuting. And his first week, he loved it. He was sending my hubby 29 male pics and videos throughout the week of vehicles that were in the shop he thought were cool, or videos of him learning something new. He's currently doing maintenance work at the dealership he's been working at, but intends on furthering his career and continuing his education through work and through other programs offered for different certificates. He leaves at 5:30 every morning and was originally getting home anywhere from 6:45 to 7:30 at night. He works 5 days a week, soon to be 6. His girlfriend, 20 female, lives 2 hours from us and 3 hours from his job.
Dang.
Every Friday, he leaves to visit her, sometimes from work. Other times, he comes all the way home to shower. She's in college, and I'm assuming he can't shower there. And then makes the trip to her house, leaving him driving minimally 5 hours in just one day.
That's a lot of hours.
That is a lot of driving.
Yeah. But I think it's not every day.
I think it's like almost every day.
That's impossible.
In just one day.
I think in just one day, like he's doing this once a week, but like at 5 hours in that day. I don't know. I need more information.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's maybe up to 5 hours a day. Well, think about it.
He's seen her every day.
2.5. I don't think he's seeing her, but like up to 5 hours.
Yeah. Yes.
Up to 5 hours of driving.
Yes.
In a day. He then comes home Sunday to restart his work week. Due to the above, we have not seen his girlfriend since. It would be an insane amount of driving for my brother-in-law to bring her back home. Why is he responsible for all of the driving, you may ask? Well, she refuses to get her license. Yes, flat out refuses at this point. Okay, pausing right here.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Who cares?
I feel like you're writing like you care.
I'm frustrated because that's the brother-in-law's decision to make.
Yeah, I feel like you care.
If he had a problem with it, if he was like, "Hey, this needs to be fixed," then they need to have a conversation. And maybe that's what we're about to learn. Maybe he has a problem with it. But like, why are you
says she must be hot. Yeah,
you're very
travel
involved.
All that way for a girl would never. Would never. Oh no. Wanderlust. Allie says, yeah, would never. See you in a few days. So why is he responsible for all the driving, you may ask, while she refuses to get her license? Yes, flat out refuses at this point, as it has become a pressing issue in their relationship and, quite honestly, my brother-in-law's overall well-being. In the last 3 months, this is what I've noticed and experienced. Brother-in-law has been getting home at 6:15 every day. It's absolutely possible he found the right route and perfect time to have a smooth commute. However, when he gets home, he's flying. We live in a neighborhood that's 25 miles per hour and blasting very loud and angry music. This person sounds like the oldest 30-year-old in the world.
He's going 30.
He's going 30 at a 25.
He's listening to Green
Blasting
Day.
Shakira, the devil's music. Those hips are not lying about Satan. No judgment. I listen to the exact same kind of music. He has been slamming doors, drawers, and cabinets. Heavy sighing constantly.
He's breathing.
And when he is asked about his day and how it was work, we are hit annoyingly with boring. He also blasted the same angry kind of music Sunday night, despite knowing my husband and I were in the next room, the living room, watching a movie, just being inconsiderate. Some context, and it may sound silly, but he is so to himself and introverted, I honest to God wasn't even sure he listened to music, especially the kind he's been listening to. He also stopped showering daily. What I'm getting at here is all of these things are incredibly out of character for him.
Okay, well, showering daily, make that, I would be like, okay.
I mean, you could, yeah.
If you've noticed a
I
big
shower
change.
every day,
Yeah.
but I feel like,
Well, if it's like he's now showering every other day,
yeah, that's fine.
it seems like OP is implying like
I
very
feel like
little
OP
showering.
could be implying that he just showers every other day.
That's true. It could be.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
think-
OP is nitpicking here.
If it is possible that OP is saying, I've noticed this huge change in his personality and
Well,
I'm
it's
worried
because
for
he's
him.
gotten a big old, his dream job and he's working hard at it.
I think if you were coming from it with a place of like, I'm worried about him because I care about this boy and he's changed a lot, then I understand.
Well, get this, Sophia.
Okay.
Every single night, he has what we all refer to as his appointment with his girl, as she calls every night. Ridiculous.
Oh my
Who
goodness.
has time to talk to their girlfriend every night
At 12 at night with their doors open.
with their doors open for hours, and they wake up their sister, and then she wakes up looking like a ghoul in the night, just staring at you, and then slams your door. With every passing day, his frustration and annoyance regarding these phone calls was becoming glaringly apparent.
Okay, so now he does seem like he's not in.
I don't
maybe.
know. He could just be tired. I don't think that is a indicator.
It's totally possible that OP is correct here.
Maybe, but I also think like OP could be totally projecting.
We might be pulling our thoughts and feelings from the first couple updates onto this, but it's totally possible that OP is correct here.
Well, let's see. So things really came to a head when 2 nights ago we asked how work was, and he said terrible.
I actually do want to. There's a possibility that it's not the girlfriend and it's just the job. The job
Yes.
is like really, really hard.
And it's also an hour and a half away.
Yeah, it might just be that the job is bad.
The job is hard.
And it's not the girlfriend.
Enough was enough, and my husband and myself had a much-needed heart-to-heart with my brother-in-law. We expressed our concern for his well-being and recognized he's incredibly overwhelmed. His girlfriend demands he visit her every single weekend, and if he doesn't, she will get really upset. When we asked when he intended to take a self-care day for himself, as over the last few weeks, my husband vehemently expressed to brother-in-law that if he didn't pick a day to rest, his body would pick for him, and that very rarely ever happens at a convenient time. Brother-in-law stated he didn't want to lie, and it wasn't a valid reason to not visit to catch up on rest and check in with himself. I shared my top 3 concerns with him. 1, I do not want him, due to lack of rest, getting in a car accident with his long commutes.
I agree.
2, I don't want him to make a mistake at work and end up injured or worse as he works on vehicles. One small mistake and you can end up squished underneath a car or end up getting fired. And 3, he's going to lose his crap on his girlfriend, and we know he doesn't want to do that, nor would he mean it. I inquired about his girlfriend getting her license, and he said that she'd consider it. I asked him what the F that means, and he said he has no idea, very clearly aggravated at the topic, not towards me, the topic itself. I asked him what was stopping her from getting it. She's turning 21 this summer. He told me she's afraid she'll get distracted and crash. I asked what she would get so distracted by that it would affect her driving. With some thinking, he says, a dog.
Okay. I do think that the brother-in-law is actually having a problem with his girlfriend. I think OP has finally become right. I still agree with everything I said previously.
Yeah. Sophia, I was never wrong.
I was never wrong. Never. I do think that OP is rightfully concerned about a young man who is probably, figuring out his limits, and
Sam
right
the
now thinks that he
caterpillar.
doesn't have a limit.
Sam the caterpillar says he could end up squished
Oh,
or worse,
worse.
fired. Okay, Hermione.
He could end up squished, or worse, fired. Yeah, I think that these are all reasonable worries because he's 19. He thinks that
it
he
is a
can
reasonable worry. It
go
is
as
a
hard as
reasonable
he can and be fine.
I'm pretty sure, as my mom would always say, Sam, you're burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah. I think my advice would probably be like, hey, because I've had friends who have partners or other friends who just expect a lot from them. And it really, drains them, and they're taking calls in the middle of the night. They're putting all this effort in that they're not receiving back. And my advice would be, don't approach this and be like, your girlfriend sucks. She's being horrible to you. Be like, hey, I just want you to know that you're allowed to ask for these things, and you're allowed to expect, her to come see you in return.
Yeah.
If she doesn't want to get a car, let's look into public transportation. Maybe we meet halfway, because it's unreasonable to expect this 20-year-old who has got a full-time job to drive 3 hours like multiple times a week.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit ridiculous. But I'm pretty sure he's just relaying what it is she's using as excuses without actually putting any thought into it and just accepting it as fact. I challenged it, and inevitably he agreed that she needed to get her license, as he was not going to get a place with her until she does so. I doubt he's had this discussion with his girlfriend yet, and that's okay. Well, yesterday I did my research for the state she lives in as to how to get her license. Obviously, you must get a permit first. Perfect. I made about 50 index cards, illustrations included where I could to help her study for and take her permit test. Unless she goes to driving school, she has to have her permit for 6 months and then can test for her license.
Let's get this over with.
So, does it solve her driving immediately or as soon as we like? No. I'm hoping that if she's unwilling to even do this, my brother-in-law can wake up and see that this is hardly a relationship that is sustainable. Last night, I gave him the index cards.
Crazy.
And explained to him how to go about helping her. I also expressed that despite the pushback and resistance he'd received, he is not to back down. Stay firm, my boy!
Stay firm!
Batten down the hatches, fortify the walls!
That's an intense thing to do.
Yeah.
For your brother-in-law's girlfriend.
The night is lonely and dark and full of terror.
I spent time making your index cards.
Yes, I made this potion for you to help you on your battle. As he isn't pushing her license, he's asking her to get her permit, which would be a step towards her being able to get her license. She refuses to get her license right now. So be it. She can get her permit. It's an 18-question test, and you need 15 correct to pass. No driving involved. If she is unwilling to do this, I'm hoping he can see that this is not the person for him. He needs a partnership, not a dependent, which is true.
Yes.
That is a true statement last
Yes.
statement. All right. After our first conversation this week, the heart-to-heart, things became much lighter in my home. My brother-in-law was more cheerful and talkative and not so reserved to himself or so isolating, essentially. Then after last night's conversation, I asked when his appointment was. When I tell you, his response contained more effing than any other words. To be honest, I'm not sure what he said other than F-bombing every word, clearly getting fed up. He explained he's told her he's going to shower and eat. But yet again, her call interrupted him mid-dinner, and rather than just letting it ring, he angrily got up, went to his bedroom, and that was at 8:15, and he never came back out of his room.
He never came out again.
We never saw him again.
Yeah, man.
This is the norm, and a huge part of the reason he is sleep deprived, as well as not taking any time for himself. He also shared how his girlfriend says he has terrible taste in vehicles, which seemed to upset brother-in-law when he told me. I pointed out, how the F does she know anything about cars? She refuses to drive. And he got all excited, and I guess was validated and reassured because he was like, right, exactly.
Yeah. And now we've come to the point where this brother-in-law should not be in a relationship with his girlfriend.
Then the phone call came. And away he went. I'm hoping in the next few weeks we can help him understand and establish appropriate and healthy boundaries for himself. I don't know why he's answering those calls when his girlfriend talks to him like that. I'll be sure to update if there's any progress on his girlfriend's end, but I doubt there will be, and hope that if that is the case, my brother-in-law is capable of doing what's best for himself and Sophia.
Yeah.
You thought it was impossible. You said, oh, there's no way there's an update 4.
I did say that.
You didn't believe it.
I did. I said that. I've been known.
You spat in my face at the idea of another update.
I did. Everyone saw it.
Everyone saw it. But guess what, Sophia?
What?
I'm sorry to disappoint you. to prove you wrong. But there is another update to this brother-in-law saga.
Wow.
Miss Woozy says brother-in-law is figuring out. What do we think? All right. We were kind of against OP in the beginning.
At the beginning, yes.
I feel like we're coming around.
I don't know if I'm coming around to OP. I'm just coming around to the fact that maybe OP's brother-in-law shouldn't be with his girlfriend.
Yeah. I think I'm coming around to the idea that OP is right.
Yeah.
That
I don't like her.
We don't.
But she's right.
Do we like her methods?
No.
Do we like her as a person?
No.
I'm not sure. I don't want to say no.
Yeah,
I've never met her.
I won't say no. I might love her in person. She just might not portray herself well on paper.
Overwriting, doesn't seem like the most affable of chaps.
Does the brother-in-law need to break up with his girlfriend?
Maybe.
Probably.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I hope he does.
I think, however, the brother-in-law needs to figure that out. You need to provide your job.
You're babying him.
Yeah.
You are putting him on a little leash and guiding him everywhere. Right? Yeah, give him flashcards. You're giving him girlfriend basically flashcards. You're like, you got to do this step and this step and this step and this step. And like, you can advise, but you can't live this relationship for him.
No, I think you need to say like, hey, I've noticed this, this, and this. A little bit worried about you. And then he comes to you and says, oh, my girlfriend said that. And you say, yeah, that's not cool. I think, just so you know, like you're allowed to ask for those things in a relationship. And you don't say, your girlfriend sucks. You need to leave her. You just advise.
Real People has a really good point over here. His relationship may be wrong for him, but OP is just an overbearing person.
Yeah.
Boom. You hit the nail on the head, real person. Real people.
A real person.
They, them. Yeah, this is an overbearing person. Break up or nah? I think I would say break up, but you got to find that out for yourself.
Yeah, I can't tell him to break up. He wouldn't listen to me.
But we got an update 4. So the last month has been up. And it's been down. About 3 weeks ago, we really established healthy, open communication between myself, 30 female, my husband, 29 male, and my brother-in-law, 20 male. My brother-in-law has gotten a promotion and another certificate under his belt since my last update. He is really just going after this crap, and I'm impressed and incredibly proud. We make sure to celebrate these things. I had made him cupcakes this week when he got the certificate and promotion. He was in such a rush to get to his girlfriend's, I'm not sure he fully processed we had made cupcakes exclusively for his accomplishments. In the last month, we have noticed a significant shift in his usual behavior. For instance, he stopped showering daily. As long as I have known him, despite doing nothing or working all day, he was a daily showerer. Recently, maybe 3, sometimes 2 times a week, coming home with a face covered in grease from work. He had thrown up in the trash bin in his bedroom almost 2 weeks ago. He decided to drink a little and learned his lesson that day and ended up sick. I smelled vomit so strongly today, it crossed my mind that maybe he never threw it away. Turns out I was right. He threw it out tonight, and he's currently airing his room out as we air out the first floor. He's left what my husband refers to as beached whales in the toilet bowl, not just once. This is a weekly occurrence I'm greeted with some mornings. Man does not have enough time to flush.
Oh.
What I'm getting at is he is clearly distracted. Not how he has inconvenienced me or my husband, but his well-being. He is neglecting himself in more ways daily. And finally tonight, we had a breakthrough. All right. I'm going to be honest. Some people had brought up these concerns, but I thought they were a bit dramatic and not really in the realm of possibilities. But unfortunately, it is a lot worse than I imagined. Uh-oh.
Maybe he needed the overbearing person.
Tonight, my husband
checking in on everything
finally brought the concern of him neglecting his well-being recently up to him. He also shared that we know something has been weighing heavy on him and that he may not want to talk to us now or us at all, but just know we are always here. He said he doesn't feel warmth or love from the people he loves. This could possibly be directed towards us as well, but the conversation went right into his relationship per brother-in-law. We allowed him to speak and express his feelings. He has no idea what he's really feeling aside from being numb. This ended up being about a 3.5-hour talk with all 3 of us. With the aforementioned promotion my brother-in-law recently got, he is now working 6 days a week instead of the regular 40-hour week. He commutes anywhere from 15 to 30 hours a week just with work. He is living here for multitudes of reasons, so please do not suggest he move closer to work. That is not the root of his very real and consuming problem. His girlfriend lives 2 hours away from us, 3.5 hours away from his job, and since moving back home in December, his girlfriend made it a point that he must visit every weekend. He obliged, and then inevitably the toll of his very busy work life was becoming clearer by the day as well as the unrealistic demands of his girlfriend. My husband and I were aware of the unsustainability of the situation, and as painful as this has been to watch the last couple of months, our biggest and main concern was his well-being, getting enough sleep, and not getting hurt driving or at work. I can't bother with any more context. Let me just get to the point, and hopefully someone will have some advice or perspective to share to help me help my brother-in-law navigate this incredibly toxic, bordering harmful codependent relationship he is currently in. 2 weeks ago, my brother-in-law, for the first time since moving in, opted to stay home for his last full weekend off of work. I have no idea the extent nor the details of what type of reaction he received from his girlfriend because he just keeps saying she gets sad. Well, finally, tonight, after letting him express himself for a good 45 minutes uninterrupted, he finally shared that she threatens to do some bad things to herself. He has shared his feelings or lack thereof regarding his girlfriend with his girlfriend lately, and she urged him to get a therapist and speak to myself and my husband to help him find a therapist. So funny enough, this
Honestly,
behavior
yeah.
is incredibly effing familiar to me as I behave similarly at that age. I have borderline personality disorder, no excuses, just a diagnosis that played a huge role in my behaviors and lack of emotional regulation maturity. And I am now so grateful for what an a-hole I behaved like because I understand it from the other side, but that this is what is scaring the crap out of me as well. I did ask him if she was borderline. He says she thinks she does. If I'm being honest, I think there is a lot of self-diagnosing happening, more so than legitimate diagnosis. Something has been off to me this entire time, and tonight just solidified the uneasiness that I've been feeling. I explained to him that if he is ever truly concerned for her well-being, being over 100 miles away from her, he could always call a wellness check. This is clearly, though, not healthy. He said he feels as if he just isn't doing enough or can't do anything right in regards to his girlfriend. He shared when he goes to visit her, he folds her laundry and takes her grocery shopping. I pointed out how kind that is of him, considering what long, hard weeks he works. Then asked him, what does she do for him? He sat and pondered,
good questions.
hand on chin, and then said, that's a really good question. I responded it wasn't necessarily to be answered right then and there, but rather something for him to maybe put some thought into. He eagerly agreed. I asked if he was leaning towards making it work or if he was ready to throw in the towel. He's flip-flopping, but if I'm being honest, I think he's done and is just consumed by the guilt and this emotional coercion. I have therapy first thing in the morning and asked him if he was okay if I asked my therapist for some advice. He was happy and said, yes, thank you. As soon as his insurance kicks in, we will be helping him find a therapist, which is a great idea.
Yeah.
Man feels like he is going...
His girlfriend was right about one thing.
Going through the works. Yeah, his girlfriend was right about one thing. I guess that is one of the ways she helped.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got
so
a
she
therapist.
is helping after all, I
Look
guess.
at that.
As soon as insurance kicks in, we'll be helping him find another therapist, which is in a few weeks. Until then, it's myself and my husband. I am even more concerned for his well-being than I was previously. Says Sophia, knowing what we know now,
Yes.
because just so you know, there's another update.
Oh,
There's
dang.
an update 5.
Oh, my goodness. Everything's changing.
Everything's changing. So with the knowledge that his girlfriend, has potential BPD and there's some emotional coercion going on, what would you advise the brother-in-law to do?
Oh, I mean, I think you keep advising him what we've been saying before of like telling him that he's allowed to expect more from her and that he, basically just running himself ragged for her is not helping her or him. If he can't fill up his own cup, he certainly can't fill up hers.
Yeah, no, it's crazy that like he's helping her buy groceries and folding her laundry.
And he's working 6 days a week.
Yeah, he's working 6 days a week. On his one off day, he's taking care of all of her chores, and he doesn't even have time to flush his own dookies.
Well, I think it's not even like a time thing. I think it's you're just so absent-minded when you're working this hard and doing this much for other people that you don't even like simple things like even probably feeding yourself, showering, just not even thinking
as soon
about
as those things go out the window, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble,
right?
yeah.
Like I think
I think also talking to him about limiting work hours as well.
Yeah,
important.
Because you don't want to just burn yourself out.
Yeah.
Like I think the ideal is like you have your baseline habits to keep yourself clean and healthy, right? So like maybe it's a little working out, maybe it's some showering, some time to eat, and then you can build on top of it, right? But if you don't have those baseline habits done, you're going to break yourself and not be. You're not going to be able to be the boyfriend. You're not going to be able to be the good worker.
Yeah, and whatever we've commented a lot about OP, but I will say I do appreciate how on top of it she is for this kid.
She is
clearly
overbearing.
cares. She's
but
overbearing.
She definitely cares.
She clearly cares about this
She
kid.
reminds me of our mother.
Yeah.
Overbearing but caring.
So true. Katie Paladin says, wow, a 5th update? When's the last time we got a story with this many updates? I don't know.
Who knows, man? But you know what I know? That I'm going to read
Woo.
this 5th update.
Woo!
So, update 5. Over the course of the last maybe 5 weeks, we've had really open conversations with brother-in-law and have gotten him in with a therapist.
Yay!
Boom! Win! He wasn't comfortable doing therapy alone at first, so we have come to 2 sessions, and now he's ready to go on his own. That's great. I like that. I will list the reasons he's in therapy and why his relationship is even more unhealthy than I was imagining. Girl got the tea. His girlfriend is 100% codependent on him and has been using the term separation anxiety, making it so that any ounce of free time my brother-in-law had, which wasn't much given his full-time job and the commute, he was to be on standby for a phone call from her, and he better answer it.
Oh, yikes.
That is not good.
No.
No. I mean, I think it is normal to maybe feel like a certain way when you're away from your partner, but like to demand that they answer or whatever is not a good thing.
Yeah, it's like when you have sometimes I'll see people in relationships. You see this a lot online and stuff of people being like, I sent the good morning text and they didn't send the good morning text. Or like we always call every night and he didn't call me back immediately. Or, we always check in every hour and they didn't check in that hour. It's like you don't deserve, nor should you ask for every minute of your partner's time.
No.
Because your partner should exist outside. Yeah.
That's how you suffocate a relationship.
Yeah.
Again, I always quote this. But my dad always has this cool little Gibran quote where it's like relationships are like 2 bodies of water. They come together with the rising tide, and with the lowering of the tide, they separate.
Yeah.
Go learn new things as separate bodies of water. Something like that.
There's this story about, it's like a mythology story about how originally it's men and women, so this is a heteronormative explanation.
Ugh, disgusting.
Gross.
Update it.
But it's about how we used to be this one pair and then separated, and I feel like I want you to forget that. I don't like.
Wait, what?
It's like we used to be like one multi-limbed form thing. And
we used to be like a four.
Yeah, like women and men.
Yeah.
Like a woman and man used to be like one thing and then got separated. And forget that. When you're in a relationship, you are not one person. You are 2 different people.
You're like, that whole story. Wait, so you just brought up a story. You're like, that was a dumb story.
Well, it was a story to explain, why things are the way they are. I just think the idea that when you come together, you are one thing and your world revolves around that person.
Yeah, I don't think your world should actually ever revolve around
one person.
No,
your world you should be
a multifaceted human being, because when your world revolves around one thing, that's when you suffocate that world, and then that world dies.
Yeah. I think rather than being the earth revolving around the sun, be the sun and all of your different interests revolve around you. That sounds bad, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, narcissist.
Be the sun.
All right, narcissist.
Everything revolves around you.
Sun.
Yeah.
And you're just a little planet dancing around me.
More so, you should just have multiple interests rather than revolving around one person.
Sophia is the sun.
I'm the sun. Everyone should think of themselves as the sun.
Well, he did this, going back to the story. So we were talking about how he has to answer every phone call from his girlfriend. He did this every single day from the beginning of December until a week ago. I suggested he take a break from the everyday phone calls. He also set a limit on him visiting every weekend. It was no longer happening. He was staying home every other week. On the weekends, he worked Saturdays. And the weekends he was off, he wouldn't be getting to her until Saturday rather than the Friday stuff he's been doing since January. Come to find out, she has been doing something to herself. He finally broke down to us and shared he doesn't know what to do. He is spinning and he feels he is entirely responsible for her.
So scary.
After therapy sessions, my brother-in-law is finally seeing the relationship for what it is. The manipulation being used, the codependency, as well as the lack of autonomy. He hasn't visited in 2 weeks now. And that's really rough. But I also don't want it to be rough for you and have you not visit us every 2 weeks. So you should visit us every day, because you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime.
Yeah.
There's another relevant update, and I swear they put this in the exact worst spots.
Worst spot.
Every time, and I love it. We got a little bit more to this story, Sophia, but I mean, how do you break up with someone that is unstable?
I think
Because I feel like you gotta like
Not-
hot potato them to someone else to take care of
Yes.
them, but I don't know.
How, like a scale, like how do you let them down so gently, so lightly? It's so hard.
yeah, I've never been in this this situation in a relationship, but I have had a friend in a similar, like a friend who was going through a lot and was potentially like had threatened things. This was a while ago, not like years and years ago. And they would rely a lot on another friend of mine and doing this thing where they would call every night till 2 a.m. and just like really demanding a lot from my friend, and then said this thing that they would do online, and I like went to a teacher and stuff, and I was like, hey, this is happening. And I think that's what you do. And that person got like very mad at me for doing that. But your girlfriend, the brother-in-law's girlfriend, probably will react very poorly if he does reach out to someone, if he does try and get her help. But I think it has to be done either way.
Yeah.
Because you are not, I think it's telling him that he is not equipped to save her. He cannot save her.
Yeah.
She's the only one who could save herself. But
And also,
he's not
I
equipped
feel
to
like
help her. He doesn't.
One of the reasons that she
Yeah.
may be mad is like you are now taking the power away from those actions used to control
Yes.
you.
Yeah. So I think it's just telling him that he's not a professional. He can't help her. And if he wants to help her, the best way to do that is to find that professional, to talk to her support system. Hopefully she has that in her like family or something. Some sort of adult figure in her life. Like, yes, he is an adult, but like, someone who actually has kind of, maybe she's dependent to like a parent or something,
Yeah.
something like that.
But it sounds like your parents are not involved. It's like,
Yeah. Which is tough.
But yeah. Find someone else that you can pass off this responsibility to.
Yeah. Faith reacts as he could talk to his therapist to get advice on that. That's a great point.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But I got a little bit more to this story, so we're going to jump in. He shared his concerns, and his girlfriend said she understood he needs space. She's not hearing him at all, as space is the least of his problems. He has tried in the last month setting boundaries, to which all attempts failed. Well, after this past weekend of not visiting, she was on spring break and decided to take a leave of absence from school due to her mental health tanking from the relationship. She told him if he leaves her, she will be checking herself into a psychiatric hospital, revving up the manipulation.
Good.
Honestly, not a bad, like,
amazing.
I
I'd be
mean,
like, oh, cool.
good.
Okay, great.
I mean, not great, but like
I mean, honestly, yes, good for her. She
Yeah.
needs that.
Last night, I asked my brother-in-law how things were going, and he just loudly exhaled and opened his phone, scrolling and showed me novel-length texts she's been sending.
Oof.
He has not responded. I'm hoping this is the beginning of his exit, as he has been much lighter and cheerful since therapy. He's humming when he's walking around the house, joining us for dinner, hanging out with us in some of his free time, showering daily, and taking some time for him. I wish his girlfriend nothing but the best and hope she can get better for herself, but it's nice seeing my brother-in-law smile and laugh again. He's been traumatized his entire life, and seeing him in such an unhealthy dynamic is borderline sickening because I love him dearly.
Wow, OP must feel so vindicated.
Woo! Yeah, dude. Sophie feels great.
Oh,
She's
he's
like,
like,
I
"I've
saw
known
this from the
this."
beginning. When she didn't say hi, when she
Yeah.
wanted that mac and cheese, I knew.
OP's known
I
it from the
knew.
beginning.
When she
you
was
got us,
faking
OP.
that vegetarianism.
You got it. You got us, OP. OP wins this round.
OP wins this round. But
Yeah.
tell me what you think. Was OP too overbearing? Was OP too much? Was OP the a-hole at certain points in this story? Let us know. Put your answers in the comments below.
Yeah.
But that's where that story ends. And that
And it-
episode.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh darn tootin', Vlad Putin. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And see you tomorrow.